Next up in the AL Central, we have the 23rd ranked team by our audience in baseball, the Cleveland Guardians. The first season as the Guardians, which means a whole lot. You got to get off on the right foot. Last year, they finished 80 and 82. They missed the playoffs, just missed being 500. They got a new name. Jake, any new players?
James, not really, dog. They went all free agency without signing a guy until they re-signed Brian Shaw, locking it down in the back end of the bullpen. Also, Sandy Leone is in town. Let's go, Luke Maile. So yeah. Who they lost? They lost Roberto Perez. He's on the Pirates now. Great defensive catcher. Nick Whitgren and that mustache are on the Cardinals. Blake Parker's gone. Harold Ramirez. It with Ramirez. That's a Dark Knight reference nobody really gets. And Wilson Ramos, I guess, ended up there for a little bit last year. A little bit more leaving than coming in, but yeah, this Guardians payroll didn't find it in the budget to make some big splashes, Trev. But if there's one thing this damn team does that makes us buy in every year, it's they pitch.
They pitch. They develop pitching. That's what they do. Obviously, we know who's at the top. They got a couple of guys here that are absolute studs. Shane Bieber, Cal Quantrill, Savale, Plesac, McKenzie. I mean, that's a nice five right there. Behind them, we got Eli Morgan, Logan Allen's a lefty. I think he's more of like a swing guy than a starter, right? Logan Allen. In the bullpen, some flamethrowers. I'm going to mess this guy's name up. Emmanuel Clase. Did I mess it up?
Nailed it.
I don't think so.
Nailed it. No, he's a stud. We have Karen Shack, who I've given some crap to because I think he's got a gimmick. You know, it's his gimmick. Then you got Brian Shaw, Anthony Ghost, which is awesome, former outfielder for the Tigers who I played against, who's bringing heat from the left side, like throwing a hunch. Yeah. Behind them, Nick Sadler and a host of other guys in that reliever depth. James, what about that? What about that offense in that lineup?
Yeah, you got guys. Miles Straw, your favorite center fielder. Ahmed Rosario went over there with the Mets trade. Jose Ramirez, that's the guy you're going to know about. Framil Reyes went over there in the Clevenger trade. Bobby Bradley. Stephen Kwan drafted. Andres Jimenez, Austin Hedges also in the Clevenger trade, and Bradley Zimmer in right field. That's what I am reading. They still have Oscar Mercado. But I thought Palacios was going to make the squad.
I think he got option that you told me that, and I think he got option like the second after you told me.
Damn.
I think.
I don't know. Before we even get into like the roster, which we have to, you know how much money you know how many guaranteed money they have on the books for next year, Trev? Do you have this page open?
No, but I think you told me that I'm talking baseball. Go for it.
No, that was the A's.
That was the A's.
The A's have $1 million next year, guaranteed. The Guardians have 0.
All ARB eligible or below?
Yep, all ARB eligible or below.
Wow.
Jose Ramirez has his club option that makes him so appealing.
Yes,
but that's not guaranteed. That's not guaranteed.
Right.
So, and then they have there's like an option for Shaw that we don't know about yet. But that's what the fuck? Different conversation for a different day.
This team was just one of the classes of the AL not too long ago.
Well, time to break it down.
My goodness. Yeah, the Jose Ramirez contract worked out well for them. He's got a team option just for 23. I thought it was 2, but it's just 1. I mean, you got to be – that's the first thing you probably think of if you're a Guardians fan is when are we trading Jose Ramirez? And that's sad. One of the best players in baseball. And, I think he's appropriately hyped now. He was underrated for a long time, but I think people are now. I had him going to the Braves last year. Didn't happen. We'll see what happens with that, but they got the pitching. That lineup, though, not striking fear into a lot of people right now.
They also, I'm guessing this is like a what's the term? Window shopping or shopping for Bieber. Bieber has a good year this year. He will not be on the team in 2023. He's going to have 2 years left, and he got hurt. He was having another good year and got hurt, and they trade everyone with 2 years left. So, if you're a Guardians fan, this is probably your last season with half of Jose Ramirez, and last season with Bieber would be my guess.
That's tough.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's not go there. Yeah, let's not.
Yeah,
go
the whole gossip was they were going to trade Jose Ramirez before this season. They end up keeping him. We'll see. I genuinely feel bad for Cleveland fans. I mean, Chris Rose, our guy, like this sucks. Like this, as fandom goes, this feels like you're tied up on the flagpole and people can just punch you if you want. Cause there's the roots here. Like this is one of the best $40 million baseball teams you can assemble. Problem is other teams spend a lot more. Like if you put the pieces around Jose Ramirez and Fran Mill, you got a good on base guy. You had another power stick. We'd be like, okay, like the top of the lineup can slap it around a little bit. You'd look at the pitching, Bieber, Quantrill, Plesac, Savali, McKenzie. You're like, man, if Bieber can be Cy Young Bieber, which who knows if he's got that in the tank, or, and a couple of those young guys make the leap, or not even a leap. Like those guys are pretty solid. But instead, we're sitting here looking at this like, when are they going to get plundered? When's Jose Ramirez getting traded? This is like a definition of fandom hell. It doesn't even make sense in my head for like a proud sports city of Cleveland because they're not even like giving you window dressing. There's not even like a couple 1-year guys that it's like, well, if he hits the switch, like there were some Conforto rumors to Cleveland, which should make sense, but everyone looks at their payroll and they're like, they're not going to do that. So it's incredibly frustrating. And a little sad for Cleveland people and sports fans because you're right, Trev. Like Jose Ramirez in baseball circles is now respected the way he's supposed to be. If you're really talking to baseball people, I mean, this dude, if he lands in the right spot, this trade deadline or whenever, I think he could have a different level of stardom. He's incredible. And it almost, I never say this, I almost want to root against Cleveland because I hate what they're doing.
Yeah, and they have what every team is looking for. By the way, they have the pitching. You have to have that, or else you have nothing in this league. So they have the foundation, like you were saying, to surround them, Jose and Fran Mill, and just bring some guys in. They could have. There's people readily available, but they're not spending right now.
Classic conundrum as a fan, Jake. Like I'm sure there's some Guardians fans as well that are like, I hope we lose so they don't think they can do this every year. Because like you said, the Royals at least got the window dressing where they're like, yeah, we'll grab Benny, we'll trade for Greinke, we'll give the fans something. They're not even offering their fans anything. This is like the A's, but somehow they escape that rap. Like the A's get it so much worse.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I want to know what their payroll was in 2016 and 17. Maybe it wasn't that much then. Maybe this is the exact same thing they went through. I don't know.
And
in 19 it was 120.
So I mean there's a trend around baseball right now that's the full teardown, and they are doing that. And once they fully see that next window, they'll make a plan of attack and get the payroll back up to 80, 90. But it just sucks, man. And like I guess that's why, Bobby Bradley, we met him at spring training this year. He was the dude. I hope that dude's a monster. I hope next year we're doing TPPs and saying like, wow, Bobby Bradley, is he one of the better first basemen in the AL now? But Bobby Bradley shouldn't be penciled in as like the third best hitter on this team, hopefully this year after Jose Ramirez and Fran Mill. Two guys I love, dude. How often have you guys heard me yell about Fran Mill? The dude's a monster. But yeah, it's just like enough to not lose games. So the town's like, oh, these Guardians stink. And it's not enough. Like, I don't see I see more of a path for the Royals to have like a fun, silly wild card attempt season than I do the Guardians.
Well, Do they have any pitchers that are going to come up? And to answer your question, Trev, in 2016, it was 118 million. In 2019, it was 136 million. In 2020, 53. Now it's 40.
Yeah, I mean, look at in the win losses. I'm back on it. 2016, 94 wins. 2017, 102 wins. 1891, 1993, and then boom, the payroll gets cut down, and they finished the COVID season. Oh, even there, 35 and 25. Isn't that good? 10 games over.
That's why.
Yeah, they lost.
But they were third. They were third in the AL Central, but they did get into the wild card. Yeah.
Do they have any prospects, Jake? Are there going to be any pitchers that like more? Obviously, you got Tristan McKenzie, you got Clase, you got a lot of arms already. But are there any prospects? I'm trying to look it up now that are going to come up.
So I guess that's the thing. And if we're trying to make some positive Guardian stuff, like, someone like Bobby Bradley, he's going to be 25, 26 this year. Let's find out what he's got. Ahmed Rosario. I mean, I know he's a name we're familiar with, but he's 26 this year. Like Jimenez, the other guy in that Mets trade, he's 23. So like, there's a lot of youth, and even their top 100 prospects, Fangraphs has a lot of those guys hitting the show this year. They have, let's see, their top 6 projected prospects. All of them are supposed to ETA to arrive at the show this year. We'll see what happens. None of the names jump off the page. Sorry, Guardians fans, for my nerdy baseball dives that I go on, like the only one is Nolan Jones, who's actually ranked 5th of their prospects now. So maybe it's a find out year and these Guardians can actually make a plan for attack next year. But I don't know. The whole thing feels uncomfortable. Like if this team feels like if there was an $80 million salary floor, they'd be a lock for a wild card spot. And that just frustrates me.
If they were forced to spend, they'd sprinkle some and then they'd be good. Yeah, that is frustrating. Good news for Guardians fans is we have a ping pong tournament coming out at some point that has a lot of Guardians in it. Palacios.
Good energy too.
Tristan McKenzie. We had Benson, Willie B, and Ray. What was his name? Ray. It's middle infielder.
I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Millie? It's like Millie? That's like his Instagram name. I don't know.
Delgado.
Nice guys.
Ray Delgado. Yeah. So I don't know when that's coming out, but that's fun. As far as this season, I don't know. You guys want to do the over under? I mean, this was a rough one because it's like Jake said, it's like awkward. It's like, well, they're not like, do they want to win? They still got pieces. I can see this team still. Like, I don't think they'll finish last. Their ceiling. What's their ceiling then, Trev? 3rd?
Yeah.
I have it as like.
Yeah. Ceiling's probably 3rd unless the Twins have another meltdown like they did last year, which I don't think they're going to. We're going to talk about that later.
I do have a 1%, like their ceiling is 2nd. Like,
yeah.
1%. I do.
They got to add some bats.
And for some reason, I don't think their floor is 5. I think they're 2, 3, or 4. Mostly
because you've been conditioned because that's what they've been. They've been competitive.
Yeah.
And it's because they do have the pitching. Like I know we mentioned him briefly. Emmanuel Clase has a chance to be like a special all-world pitcher. He throws a cutter 102. Last year, 71 games, a 1.29 ERA. That dude's a freak out of the bullpen. Quantrill, some MLB ties. He had a breakout year last year. 150 innings, a 2.89. Bieber. Is he Shane Bieber? And then if you have one of Plesac, Savali, McKenzie, guys that have done it pretty well at this level, you've got a rotation that would be one of the tops in the AL. So that's where it just gets so frustrating. And yeah, we could easily be sitting here at the end of the year like, 85 wins. All right, Guardians. But I'm kind of rooting against them. And I hate that for me.
What's the over under here?
76.5. I'm going to take the over. Pitching wins. They got good pitching.
I know it. This is a tough one. What they won? They won 80 games last year.
They won 80 games last year. And they didn't really have much help offensively last year. And Bieber got hurt towards the end. He had a 3.17 through 16 starts, was an all-star. He's back.
What did I go with the Royals? Over? Shoot.
Yeah, Jake put you on the over.
All right, I'm taking the under here. Just barely. I think they're gonna just barely sneak in 75 wins.
Our dude Sticks on the mound. He's gonna put it together even more.
I know. Unlike Jake, I am rooting for these guys. I like the way they pitch.
I don't know if I am.
Well, I'm gonna say under. Although I am rooting for you guys to prove me wrong.
I'm rooting for the young players. I'm not rooting for the organization. How about this? I'm going under. It's so angsty. I don't really believe in it.
I don't like it either. Yeah.
How about this? They trade Jose Ramirez, and when we do our year-end check-in, it's going to be like, oh, the Guardians are on pace to win 85. They're easily going to beat their over-under. And then they just eat it. Eat it after
That's
J-Ram.
mean. That's mean.
Under. I'm being mean. I don't like being mean.
I have your fan service. It's not trading J-Ram. It's keeping him around for the last year because it's a cheap deal.
Yeah, and then just trade him. We'll see.
They gotta trade.
They take the option, then trade him in next offseason.
I got a hot take. I don't mind the name change. Guardians. Kind of like it.
It's already, like, I'll mess up a couple times, but it's already not weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they wanted. Congratulations, PR team.
Please, Sack. Didn't even talk about him. One of my favorite guys. Blue bubbles, good results. All right, there you go. I'm on the over. You guys are on the under. That is the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians fans, if you tuned in to listen to this on this season, like I can't even imagine that. We didn't even feel comfortable doing it, and we're not fans.
Guardian
so thank
fans,
you very much.
I need like a Guardians hug. Like, help me out, because I don't like how I just sounded.
Yeah, that's not like you.
It's not me.
They're bringing you down. Now you know how I feel about Texas. But I'm kind of back in on Texas. Spoiler alert.
I am too. That's coming later, though.
Backyard Brad, my guy.
All right, that ends the Guardians.